What's your baseball philosophy? What got you so far?
What's gotten me so far? I like to think it's mainly been, my work ethic and my drive. I've always been a competitive person. I see other guys working hard. I want to be that guy to work just as hard, if not harder. Ever since I was a little kid, coming up through high school, college. Especially as I got further on into high school, and found out that I had a chance for my baseball career to further. It was just something that kind of drove me, kept me, eager and hungry, and was that driving force behind, just working hard and staying. Always having a good work ethic and living by that old adage, the hard work pays off. And I think that's something that I've been fortunate enough to have most of my hard work pay off so far.
Now, being a first-round draft pick, you've got this far, but there's first-round draft picks that haven't got as far as you have. They got passed up by guys in the later rounds. And why is that? Have you seen that?
Say that again?
Have you seen that happen?
What?
First-round draft picks.
Yeah.
You've got this far, but some of them are getting passed up by guys drafted in the later rounds.
Yeah, it's as far as the draft goes, there's great ball players being selected. Even second, third, fourth, on down the line. And some guys hit their stride a little later than others. They might not hit their stride until after they enter in pro ball. And then they find their niche and they kind of take off. It's the mental and the physical, part of this game is so taxing. There's just people relate to it in different ways. Obviously I've been on a little longer road than I've wanted to. I would have liked to already, made it to the major league. I'm not there yet, and I'm working every day to get to that point where, I'll get my chance to play up there. You see it all the time in baseball. There's plenty of guys that that I've played against or played with that weren't necessarily a high draft pick, but whenever they began to play football, they kind of found their niche and they kept getting better and better. They just took off one year and had a great season and never looked back. But it happens all the time.
Every year, the Giants and every team brings in more guys to compete with you at the major league level. How do you approach spring training?
First and foremost, it's one of those things that, obviously there's new guys coming through every single year, and they're gunning for you, man. They're just as eager as you are to make it to the next level, and it's just something that you've got to deal with, and you've got to not let you can't think about anything what anybody else is doing. You got to focus on yourself and what you can do to make yourself a more complete baseball player, where it gives you the best opportunities to see to the next level. The minute that you start letting other things creep into your mind, it can set you back a little bit. So for me, I wish the best for everybody that's in the organization and even the guys that I compete against. When it's all said and done, I have no say so whether or not I get the opportunity to play for the San Francisco Giants or not. All I can do is put in my hard work and keep my nose to the grindstone and do my work.
There's a lot of things in baseball. There's injuries and going up and down the class, the levels and stuff like that. Has there ever been a time you wanted to give baseball up?
No. As long as I still love this game, I'm going to continue to play. There's still a fire inside me for this game, and who knows when it'll go away. Maybe it hopefully it doesn't get cut short. But as long as I love this game, I've got a wife now, and we're expecting a baby and everything. So we're gonna have a family, and she's very supportive of it. If she wasn't, it'd make it a little more difficult. But she loves baseball as much or more than I do. She wants something more than to see me succeed. So yeah, as long as I've got the enjoyment that I've got for this game, the love I got for this game, then I'm going to keep on playing.
Now, do you read the sports pages or where Baseball America ranks you in the organization or things like that?
No. I'll look. We get the Baseball Americas here in the locker room. We'll flip through them. But as far as where everybody sits and stands, I don't really notice that much. Unless it's out there in plain view, and I might see it somewhere. But it's just as easy. It's just as easy to make your way up the list as it is to make it down. Those things flip flop and change as much as anything else. So that's all that is prediction. It's the odds are obviously against everyone to make it to the major leagues. So you can't just look at the list and be like, oh, I'm way up there on the list, so I've got it made. You still got to work hard and put your time in, and like I said, hopefully get the opportunity.
How about the umpires? How do you handle the umpires?
From what standpoint? As far as like catching or hitting or
from catching?
From catching, I try to work with them as best I can. If there's a certain pitch that my pitcher needs one night, if he's a guy that his success stands on staying down in the zone. If he's a guy that has to pitch down in the zone and keep the ball down, and our umpire's not giving that low strike that night, I've got to do whatever I can, to make him see it the way that I see it, and hopefully get that pitch for my pitcher, because his success relies on that, And some guys are harder to work with than others, Other guys don't have, much leeway and don't want to talk a whole lot back there, but there's some guys that do, something anywhere from, hey, can I get you a better look at that pitch? Am I setting up all right? Am I moving too much? So some guys are harder than others to work with and a lot less vocal, but I try to be as respectful as I can, whenever dealing with them, because if they start getting mad at me, they might give my pitchers some balls that are good pitches.
So you're communicating with them the whole game.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. Like I said, there's some guys that aren't real vocal, so there's not a lot said between the two of us. But other guys, there's a few guys that like the umpire last night, Jason. I've worked with him a couple years now. Me and him have a pretty good working relationship. And he does a great job back there, and it's easy to work with him. We do have that working relationship. He knows me, I know him. So that is a plus whenever you get with the guy that you've worked with for a couple years in a row. But you run across those guys that don't want to say much. They want to stay locked in on what they're doing in the game. They don't have much for conversation back there.
How about the fans? People yelling and screaming at you. How does that affect you?
Fans are, they do what they want. It's one of the things you can't pay attention to. Really, when you're out on the field playing, you don't even notice anything. You'll hear stuff that comes in from the stands, or people that are right there on the field yelling at you and stuff. But it's one of those things you kind of grow numb to it. Unless they start getting overly disrespectful towards you or somebody else. But as far as razzing the players and yelling and everything, that's been something that's been around for ages, and it's one of those things you just get used to it. You learn to tune it out and not let it bother you.
What would you tell a high school baseball player about professional baseball you learned the hard way that nobody told you about before you started?
Really, there's not a whole lot you can prepare guys for in this game. There's something new that happens every single day, But the best advice that I can give them is, just work hard. Always don't be afraid to ask questions. Every manager, coach, even guys in the clubhouse, that are a little older than you. Those guys, if you go to them with a question, hopefully, especially the managers and the coaches, they're here to do nothing but help. I think early in my career, I was a guy that kind of tried to figure out things on my own a little bit too much. I wasn't picking other guys' brains or asking a lot of questions as far as situations, which I've gotten better at as I've gotten older. But don't be afraid to ask questions. Always work hard. The guys here, managers, coaches, players alike, they're all here to help. For the most part. So some guys might not have the kind of answer you're looking for, but also you got to be able to take constructive criticism. There's guys that aren't going to necessarily baby you through everything. They're going to be to the point and very factual. In the long run, this is a business. It's still a game that I love and that I play every day with passion, but at the end of the day, it is a business. So it's one of those things that you can't really take anything personally. Guys are just gonna be honest with you, hopefully shoot you straight. So.